Hi everyone, this is Sammy from SCVI Migration. We try to bring the most updated and the most accurate migration news to you guys by our Facebook, by our YouTube. There's always a lot of rumors going around when it comes down to migration. So we want to make sure that our clients actually get the right and the most accurate information from us. So we would try to upload probably at least once a week. We'll aim for that, but realistically probably once every 2 weeks. We'll bring out some good news, any updates from the department directly. We will only ever post direct news from the department, so please don't listen to the news going around. For example, the new partnership visa, a new partner visa, where the sponsoring partner needs to be granted first before the visa application can go in. That was supposed to start in April this year. Never happened. It was delayed until the 1st June. Early June. It's almost end of June. It's still not enforced. Now, our clients still believe that that law actually has passed, and they need to get the pre-approval for the sponsor before the visa application can go in for the partner. But that hasn't actually been commenced. Another example, I guess, is a lot of clients do come to us saying that the minimum wage for TSS 457, the minimum wage has increased to 65,000 after the election. That was a rumor going around again, never actually happened. So they did say that they may, but then that never actually happened. Obviously the election was done in May and is still sitting at 53,900. So we encourage our clients to just listen to what's actually been released from the government itself, and we only would ever post any details from the department directly. And the quickest way to get the information through is our Facebook. So if you just search SCVI Migration, you will get the updated news by feed, and we'll try to do YouTube videos for you guys to get information more live as well that way. So our very first session today, I'm just going to briefly cover the new 494 and 491 visa that's been released in November this year, and the new point system that's going to be applied to 189, 190, 491, 494 as well. So the 491 visa, subclass 491, is basically replacing a subclass 489, the state-sponsored temporary visa. As you probably would know, these days, really, 489, you barely get any invitations. Like last round, you probably would have gotten one. So it's literally almost impossible to get the invitations for 489 if there is an invitation to be issued. Whereas 491, they've already said in the first year, they're gonna issue 14,000 spots already. So that's been given. That 491 that's replacing 489 would be issued for 14,000 spots. And the 494, which is replacing 1A7 RSMS visa, that's going to be minimum 9,000. So they already said 9,000 spots are going to be issued. So that's a fair big of an increase from the current 489 invitation rounds. So anybody's looking at relocating, I guess, because they've already mentioned Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, city are going to be excluded. They haven't actually released the actual location. They haven't released the postcode. They haven't released the actual occupations for those, but they've already said about 700 occupations are going to be available for 491. So that's pretty much, really, we think that it's going to be pretty much the most occupations are going to be available under 491. So if anybody's looking at the occupation list at the moment, and it doesn't fall under MLT or WSL, so your occupation more than likely probably will be on 491. And by the time the occupations are released, postcodes are released, again, we'll put that on the Facebook as soon as we hear from the department. So 14,000 spots, fairly good. And the current 489, the additional points for being regional area is 10 at the moment, but it's going to be 15 points. So that's a quite large additional points for that. And 494, that's basically replacing subclass 187 regional sponsored migration scheme, RSMS, what we call. That's being replaced to 494. And both visas, 491, 494, they're going to be 5-year visa, and you've got to be working in the state that you've been sponsored, or for 491, and for 494, for the employer who sponsor you in the regional area, you've got to work for 3 years before you can apply for permanent residency in 3 years' time. So the 494 is replacing 1A7, but it's slightly different, obviously. The 1A7, the RSMS at the moment, if you get the visa, you're pretty much permanent resident straight away. You still have to work for the employer for 2 years, but you are on a permanent resident status already. Whereas when the 494 kicks in on the 16th of November, it would be a 5-year visa, temporary visa still, and you need to be working for the employer for 3 years. and then you can apply for a permanent residence. So a lot of people will be thinking, then what's the difference with the TSS? I guess the big change is the big advantage is that the occupations that are not available under TSS to apply for a PR. So if your occupation is in SITSOL or even not, then you may have a chance to apply for this and apply for a PR. So for example, if you're a cafe manager, restaurant manager, currently sitting in a SITSOL, so in the short-term list, you can get a TSS visa for 2 years, but that's not leading to your permanent residency. Under 494, more than likely you probably can. So the 494, the replacing 187, the 494 visa would only really be advantages for the people who can't apply the permanent resident under the current TSS scheme. If if your occupation is on a TSS long-term list, MLTSSL list, then probably not so much of a difference whether you do the 494 or the TSS. So that's the main difference, I guess. And just briefly covering the new point system that's starting from 1st November. The new point system is kicking in on the 1st November 2019. 491, 494 are being commenced on the 16th of November 2019. So there's slightly a couple of weeks difference in there. So just one more thing, the RSMS 187 obviously is being, you are being able to lodge that until the 15th of November, we're assuming. So if you meet the requirements, and you've got a sponsor at the moment and your occupation is on the list of a 187, go for it. You've still got good, 5 months to go. That's again straight up here. So if you can, don't miss out your last 5 months chance and go for it. Additional points for the new November. I guess the good part, the very good one that everybody knows of is the partner. If you have a partner and your partner has competent English, meaning the 6 point each in IELTS, so each band 6.0 in IELTS, you automatically get 5 points. So that's very good. Currently, the partner point is only 5, and you need to go through a skills assessment. So that was very difficult to get through actually. But if your partner has a 6.0 competent English, then you automatically get 5 extra points. And if your partner has a skills assessment done in the list of independent skilled occupation list. So if your partner's occupation is on an MLT, being increased to 10, and you get additional competent English points for 5. So if your partner has a skills assessment for any occupation that's sitting at MLT/SSL, plus your partner has 6.0 IELTS, then you get 15. And obviously, so it's going to be disadvantage for people who don't have a partner. So to compensate that, the government has introduced that the single applicant would get 10. So if you either have if you have applied for a visa under a single, so never married, or if you have a permanent resident or citizen Australian partner. So if you have a partner, the partner happens to be an Australian permanent resident or citizen, but you decided not to do a partner visa and you decided to do an independent skilled visa or 491 or 190 skilled visa, then you get 10 as well. So that's a bit of compensation for that, for you being single or for you to have a Australian partner and not doing a partnership visa. So that's the very basic of 491 and 494 and additional points that's being introduced in November. We are slowly going to bring some news to this YouTube channel going forward. So probably next time we'll cover the TSS visa. What's the basic requirements for that? A lot of people are still quite confused about that. The visa has been introduced for over a year now, and a lot of people still don't quite know the two-year post-qualification experience part, whether it has to be, post-qualification, is it by law or is it in legislations or is it just policy? So the two-year qualification, the new law, the new legislation that was introduced last year, March 2018. So we still want to, there are still a lot of people confused about that. So we want to cover a little bit about TSS, very basic requirements, whether you have to have Australian qualifications to be able to apply for that, or do you have to have skills assessment to go for that, So depending on the country of passport, obviously it all varies. So we're going to briefly cover that next YouTube video around, and we'll try to bring the news as quickly as possible and the most accurate. So the quickest way to find the news is by our Facebook. So if you search SCVI Migration, you should be able to see all the updated news on there, and we'll try to do the YouTube as much as we can. And if you have your specific personal circumstances related questions, so if you want to know if you're eligible for this visa or you can go for a skills assessment, all that, instead of messaging us on Facebook, it's always a better idea to send us an email. So if you just send us an email with your current visa, your current occupation, your qualifications, your experience in and outside of Australia, and what sort of visa you're looking to seek, then we can actually advise you better. So if you can just please email us at info@scvimigration.com.au, then we can give you a right guide from the very beginning. I mean, the migration law, migration policies, everything in Australia is getting more and more difficult, as we all know. So we want to we are here to make all the process. We're here to make the whole process much easier for you. So if you can email us with your details, then we can go from there and help you to start from the right beginning. So thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the video, and we'll see you very soon again. Thank you.